Hey everyone, last week a bunch of things called Codex came out. The Codex app came out, the native Mac app, and the model GPT 5.3 Codex also came out. Today we're going to try the app, see why it's valuable to use.
Yeah, personally, I'm someone who loves the CLIs, but we also know we don't kind of live in the CLI world when we're using our IDEs. There's a lot coming, I think, in the future. I did write a small essay on this before we get to the Codex. I won't read the whole essay. Please go check it out on our Unhobbling Substack. But the key points really are that I think CLIs aren't the full thing. They're kind of the thing that gets us to the thing. Everyone's been seeing this kind of agents can use computers, but I think there's a secondary part here, which is that not only am I trying to make my agent do something, my coding agent do something, I actually want to collaborate with it. And it's a lot easier to collaborate with it if it kind of comes into the same space that I like to work. If it comes into more of an IDE space in addition to some of the CLI type capabilities that you have. I want to see the code as it's changing. I don't know about you, but one of my habits is I'll let Claude or Codex run in the CLI, and then I'll also review the code in Cursor or VS Code, just to kind of see what's happening and see those diffs. So I'm actually pretty excited about the fact that Codex UI, whatever they're calling it, is bringing all those things together in one place. I also call out in the essay that multitasking is really going to be an important part here, and why I think visualization is so key, because it's hard to follow along when you've got 10 different agents running, 20 different agents running and doing things if you're just using the CLI the whole time. This kind of goes beyond computer use. It's this UI of intent. You know, people like Guillermo talk a lot about this. A lot of other players in the space are talking about what does it mean to give an agent a computer, what does it mean to give them the right UI, what does it mean to share a screen with them, what does it mean to kind of work closely with them more collaboratively. If you want to check out more of my thoughts, go check it out, but let's jump to the review.
Yeah, let's jump into Codex. So I'm in the native Mac app Codex. I'll just kind of highlight why this is useful. To start, it is a UX. I don't have to use a terminal. I can just come in and use a GUI. You know, we've had this folder system for a while. We can just come in and use the GUI to open new projects. You can just drag and drop files. So if you are pulling in screenshots, you don't have to do this complicated screenshot, save it, and then post it to the terminal. You can just drag and drop items here. They've made dictation very easy. You can just come down here and hold to dictate. Now you don't need a third-party solution like WhisperFlow. So this is all just possible because you have a UX. So you don't have to pull up multiple terminal windows. Everything is just in the sidebar, similar to ChatGPT. What's new with the Codex app that wasn't originally part of the terminal interface, skills and automations. So skills, in reality, are just prompts, or at least very, very similar to just prompts. And you can have these invoked directly through the chat just by referencing the skill, or you can turn these skills into automation. This is pretty nice. You can just turn a skill in a very cron fashion, just have it run on a schedule. So if you have sort of a debugging skill that you want to run every day, you can just have that run. And what's nice is you can have this just run in the cloud. So it'll just happen off of your computer. Speaking of which, if you are working on a repo that is in GitHub and not just locally on your computer, you can just have these instances run in the cloud. But what's nice is you have that option to decide, I want to run on my machine or not on my machine.
The other thing I really do like about some of these views here is the code diff. Do we have any diffs that we can bring up? Here you actually get to see, you know, it's kind of flipping the cursor-like kind of direction on its head. It's like the chat and the thing that you've come to love from like Claude Code or any of the Codex CLI approaches. It's still here, kind of on the left, but then I have this diff that I can look at on the right, kind of still do the file system management and all the things that I would normally use two tools for, at least.
We'll see if they do it, but you can actually just, if it's front-end focused, just maybe even show the element.
They should be able to render all, like it would be great, just like in VS Code, where you could say, like, let me render that as well in screen. I'm sure they're going to go in that direction next.
So overall, it makes a lot of sense why this is a powerful experience. A couple things didn't quite work, and to be fair, I didn't update this week. I'm still just kind of using the same version from last week. Oddly enough, it's just very hard to ask Codex, the app, to run things locally. So what's useful, like when you're using Claude Code or even Codex in CLI, it seems to run background tasks very easily. But here's a project that was pretty simple. It was just like npm run, just run my app locally. Every time it runs it, it just decides to stop running it when it's like obvious that, hey, I just want to serve this product and I just want to use it. Like this is the iteration function, like the iterative flow that I want to go through.
Yeah, so that dev loop.
Yeah, so there are a few things that seem to be a little off compared to the CLI. I'm sure it will be fixed, but that was something that was a little off when using the app itself. But overall, I'm excited. To be transparent, I think I'll use a CLI for now. because that's a pretty important flow for me. The automations are useful, but I haven't found... I actually expected the automations to be a bit more robust. Like I should be able to create a script and maybe do a few more things besides just the prompt. And that I think would be a bit more powerful.
Yeah.
But overall, the UX components of this, very powerful. I'm interested in using it in this way. I still think I'm just going to use the CLI and IDE for now. But it's possible that I can see something like this overtaking both of those.
Yeah, I think that's fair. My plan right now is to probably use this as my cursor replacement for a bit, where I might still use the CLI occasionally, but use this to kind of view and ask questions about the changes that have occurred and all that kind of fun stuff. But I think there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.